Welcome, Twisted viewers, to another Twisted Tuesday. Today we have a twisted request for my friend Austin. In today's story we head into a West African forest where Austin stumbles upon something he's looked for his whole life, and then very quickly wishes he never left his house. So grab your tin-foil hats and get ready for today's twisted tale, The Legend of Bigfoot. Austin had always been obsessed with Bigfoot. As a child, he devoured every book, watched every documentary, and even attended conventions, hoping to hear first-hand accounts of encounters with the elusive creature. Now, as an adult, he spent his days trekking through forests and dense woodlands, hoping to catch a glimpse or, better yet, capture undeniable proof of Bigfoot's existence. His obsession had taken him to some of the most remote places on Earth, but tonight, he found himself deep within a West African forest, a place few had explored and where tales of strange creatures were told among the locals. The night was thick with humidity, and the forest was alive with the sounds of nocturnal creatures. Austin had pitched his tent in a small clearing and settled in for the night, his camera and gear neatly organized beside him. As he lay on his sleeping bag, his mind raced with thoughts of what he might discover here. Eventually, the rhythmic sounds of the forest lulled him into a light sleep. Sometime deep into the night, Austin was jolted awake by a faint sound outside his tent. He lay still, ears straining, trying to discern the noise. It was subtle, almost like a low grunt, followed by the sound of something large moving through the brush. His heart raced with excitement. Could this be it? Could tonight be the night? He unzipped the tent as quietly as he could, slipping out into the cool night air. The forest was cloaked in darkness, with only the faintest sliver of moonlight filtering through the dense canopy above. Austin moved slowly, his senses heightened, as he crept toward the source of the noise. Off in the distance, he saw something, a shadowy figure, much taller and broader than any human, standing between two large trees. Austin's breath caught in his throat. This was the moment he had been waiting for his entire life. He reached into his pocket and pulled out his camera, hands trembling with anticipation. Carefully, he focused the lens on the figure. The camera's flash went off, illuminating the figure for a split second. It was Bigfoot, towering and massive, its eyes gleaming in the light before it turned and bolted into the darkness. Austin's heart was pounding in his chest, a mix of exhilaration and disbelief flooding his senses. He had done it. He had captured a picture of Bigfoot. The proof he had been seeking for years was finally in his hands. He made his way back to his tent, grinning from ear to ear, and slipped into his sleeping bag. He could hardly wait to return home and show everyone what he had found. The excitement kept him awake for hours, but eventually, exhaustion took over, and he drifted off to sleep. When Austin awoke, something was wrong. His eyes were heavy, and his mind was groggy. He tried to sit up, but his body wouldn't move. Panic began to set in as he realized he was no longer in his tent. The familiar smell of the forest was gone, replaced by a sterile, clinical odor. He was strapped down to a cold metal table in a strange, brightly lit room. Above him, a blinding light shone down, and in the distance, he could see figures moving around, though their faces were blurred and indistinct. Fear gripped Austin as he struggled against the restraints, but it was no use. The straps held him tight. Slowly, his vision began to clear, and as it did, he saw something that made his blood run cold. The figures around him weren't human. They were small, only about 4 feet tall, with gray skin and large, black eyes that stared at him with an unsettling intensity. Aliens. He had been abducted by aliens. Austin's mind raced, trying to comprehend what was happening. The best night of his life had turned into a nightmare. He felt his heart pounding as he desperately searched for a way out, but there was none. Then, in the corner of the room, he saw something that sent a shiver down his spine. Bigfoot. The creature he had photographed was standing there, watching him. But something was wrong. The Bigfoot didn't look scared or angry. It looked calm, almost as if it was at home in this strange place. And then it hit Austin like a ton of bricks. The Bigfoot and the aliens were working together. His confusion and terror were overwhelming. Austin began to scream, a primal sound filled with fear and despair. One of the aliens walked over to him, its large eyes unblinking, and placed a cold, three-fingered hand on his forehead. Suddenly, Austin felt a strange calm wash over him, and a voice echoed in his mind. "Calm down," the voice said. "We will explain everything." The alien began to speak, not aloud but directly into Austin's thoughts. It told him the truth about Bigfoot, a truth that shattered everything he thought he knew. Bigfoot was not just a creature of legend, it was part of an ancient race, the original inhabitants of Earth. They had lived in hiding for millennia, keeping their existence a secret from the humans who had come to dominate the planet. To maintain their secrecy, the Bigfoot race had struck a deal with the aliens. Whenever a human caught sight of them, they would retreat and report the encounter to the aliens. The aliens would then abduct the human, erasing any memory of the encounter and using the human for their own experiments. This arrangement had kept Bigfoot safe from those who would hunt them or exploit them for fame and fortune. Austin's mind reeled as he processed this information. It all made sense now. The lack of concrete evidence, the countless sightings that led to nothing. It was all because of this unholy alliance between Bigfoot and the aliens. "You are now part of something much bigger," the alien's voice continued. "Something beyond your comprehension. You belong to us now." Terror gripped Austin once more as he realized what this meant. He was never going to leave. He would never show anyone the picture he had taken. His dream had become his nightmare, and now he was trapped in a reality far worse than anything he could have imagined. As the alien began to prepare him for whatever was to come next, Austin's thoughts drifted to the forest, to the moment he had seen Bigfoot. He had spent his life searching for the truth, and now that he had found it, he wished with all his heart that he hadn't. Thanks for joining us on today's Twisted Tale, The Legend of Bigfoot. Austin's dreams coming true meant his nightmares becoming reality. If you enjoyed this video, like, share, and subscribe to help my channel grow. And don't forget to hit that bell icon to never miss a twisted tale. And the next time you see a UFO, know that another poor soul just spotted Bigfoot.